Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Union Collectors channel, and today we are taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class SS-13 Megatron. This is based on his Revenge of the Fallen appearance. And taking a look here at the box, just like all these Studio Series boxes here, we got a nice number 13, some art of him. See his backdrop in there. Got some art of him right there. Got some product shots here, him in robot mode and tank mode. And then here he is here, Voyager class down there. Got the 13 up there. Take a look at his backdrop. And the backdrop included with this figure is from that forest battle scene from the second movie. Put him in there. Looks pretty good in there. Get that out of here. So taking a look at his robot mode here, I really like how this robot mode turned out. And there is a repaint of this, the SS-31. I'll show you when we get to that. That's even cooler than this. But this version here, this SS-13, it has pretty much just a solid gray kind of paint scheme to it. Its legs are kind of wonky and don't want to stand. It's kind of got... It's got a lot of gray to it, but it's also got some of these like gold, bronze kind of colored highlights in there. And I think that looks really cool. It kind of brings out some of the details nicely. Looking around here, there is a big, huge gap right here, and I know there's like upgrade kits to fix this. And you can like spin his little guns down and stuff, and there's ways to avoid that, but unless you're looking at it from his side with his arms up, you can't even tell. And then his back's got these little thrusters and stuff. Looks really cool. I really like this robot mode here. He has that whole asymmetrical build with his arms here, where he's got the big fusion cannon here. That's kind of based on his G1 appearance, where he's got the big cannon on his arm. So they took that, and then his other arm's just like this little spindly arm. So a little bit of trivia here about the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron that a lot of people know, but a lot of people also don't know. In the movie, when they're rebuilding Megatron, when they're bringing him back to life, and this is why he has like the tank mode and stuff. And so Scalpel, the little doctor, says kill the little one when they're down underwater rebuilding him, and they kill the character model of Scrapper, which is not real little. And he's the wrong bot. They were supposed to kill this guy here, which is Scrap Metal. And Scrap Metal, if I can get him to stand here, has treads on his legs, if you see. And he's got like the chicken leg thing going on. That is why Megatron ends up with treads and the whole chicken leg thing going on in this movie. It was a mistake in the filming. They killed Scrapper, not Scrap Metal, and it kind of threw that part off. And I find that to just be really interesting. But anyways, with that aside, we can go ahead and look at his articulation here. So his head is on a ball joint down here, right there. But mine is really weird, and I actually can't turn it left or right, and when I do, it leaves like stress marks on the ball joint there. I'm not going to try. It can go up and down just fine, though. It's just left and right. It is absolutely stuck. So if that's just an issue with mine, I'm guessing it is, then it should be able to turn all the way, but mine does not for some reason. His little guns on his back are articulated. He has full 360-degree motion in both arms, as well as hinge joints in both arms, as well as rotation joints in both biceps, hinges at both elbows, and this hand, let's see here. These three fingers are together, and these two fingers are together. So there is a point of articulation there, but they're not individually articulated, if that makes sense. This side, his little sword is retractable, and he has a little thumb here. Mine is really stiff, so it doesn't want to come out all the way, but it can go in and out right there. He has little hinge joints at the waist. These ones are really tight. You'll see in my SS-13 video, that's a repaint of this guy. That one was incredibly loose at these joints. But then there's also rotation here. That's also for transformation. That's why those line up. There is a double hinge here, mostly for transformation. There is a side pivot hinge right here, which is nice. I like this hinge for posability and stuff. And then his toe is kind of open. And then these things down here, just kind of for positioning, they are somewhat posable. But you don't need to use those too often. And he has no accessories. His arm is his weapon. But we can move on to some size comparisons here. So here we have the Voyager class SS-13 Megatron standing next to the Deluxe class SS-71 Dino from Dark of the Moon. And these two, I think they look really good together. I've actually never put these two together, but so getting Dino out of here. We just saw him, but here he is again. We have the SS-60 Scrapper and the SS-41 Scrap Metal. And he is in front, so he might look a little bit taller than he should. There. It's a little bit better. Getting them out of the way. Alright, we can go ahead and get him into his tank mode here. And once again, I'm going to make a separate video here pretty soon about the transformation for this. So we're just going to go through this quickly here. Alright, so here we are in tank mode here. Actually, let's finish. Forgot a part here. There we are. So now we're in tank mode here. So this is the Cybertronian tank mode that he takes in Revenge of the Fallen after he was rebuilt from parts of scrap metal, like I mentioned earlier. Which looks like this, by the way. See all the treads down here? It's kind of where he gets his treads in both of his modes there. But the nice solid gray color scheme carries over pretty nicely here in the tank mode. I personally prefer the SS-31's tank mode, and I'll show you that at a later time. But this looks really nice here. If I have one complaint here, and I've never liked this. Why is Megatron's face just sticking out right there? Like, I've never understood that. What's the deal with that? I've always thought it looks really weird, I guess, but other than that, the tank mode looks really nice actually, and you still can see those little boosters up there and stuff from his jet mode from the previous movie. And he's a pretty decent size, too. We can bring scrap metal back out. He's a deluxe class, and he's a kind of a small deluxe, but you can take a look at them together here. Let's line up treads. There we go. You can see that Megatron is much, much larger. Get him out of here. We can grab the SS-12 Brawl here. It's another Voyager class tank. These two they're pretty good size next to each other here. You can see Megatron's gun only sticks out about that far, and then he has these two on his back here, whereas the Ebon Abrams sticks out a lot further. It's got the two turrets on top, these things on the back. But like, lining them up back to back here, they're roughly the same length, just Megatron has a little bit of length on Brawl here, but then Brawl has the Minesweepers, so they kind of stick out further there. Then the turret is much longer on Brawl, and Megatron is much wider here. If you can kind of see that, that doesn't look too good, but you can see it sticking out of both sides there. And for the last size comparison here, we have the SS-13 Soundwave. And I don't know, I know a lot of people were disappointed in this. I personally like it, the Soundwave. I think it's really cool. The paint could have been better, and the robot mode could have been better, and the satellite mode could have been better, but other than those, I guess I like it. It's a pretty cool figure. But you can kind of see the size difference here. So Soundwave is a little bit taller, I guess. Maybe a little bit wider too. But he's not nearly as solid as Megatron is here. We can take him out of here. So now we're going to transform him back into robot mode and then finish this video. Alright, so to finish this video up here, I like this figure a lot. I do have some complaints about it though that I do want to point out before the video ends. These right here, it actually fell off again. So these right here, I'm sure if you've seen any videos about this before, you'll know that they just come off. And the SS-13 is a little bit better, but mine, it still falls off all the time. And the feet are made up of like multiple parts here. I don't know if you can really see that too well or not. I can pull a light. There, that might be a little bit better. So the feet are like multiple parts here. We got this part, the heel, this part, and then the toes. It's kind of hard to actually get it to balance on all of the feet pieces. But other than those few just kind of minor complaints here, and then the gap in the torso there, other than all that, I really like this figure. If you're looking for a Megatron, I would highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite versions of Megatron. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and stick around for the next video.